and welcome to Physical Therapy, a movie podcast. We're here every week talking movies inspired by the world of physical media. My name is Kurt.
And I am Sam.
We're also joined by our producer, Kimberly. What's up, Kim?
I know. I was away for a minute. I was sick
Oh my God,
at
Kim.
one point. I know. I'm back. I was never gone. I was never really gone.
We missed you on our Tom Cruise episode.
I was listening to that while sick.
It's true.
Producing from our bedroom. And anyway, it was a great episode. But happy to be back. Season 2. Here we go.
We're glad you're here. We're glad you're well.
Fighting the good fight, Kim.
That's right.
We are back from a little season break. This is season 2. Welcome to it. Sam, how's it feel?
Good, man. I missed the show while I was away. What was I doing? Pretty much the same thing. But what are you going to do? We're back.
I missed the show as well. I think I saved about $9,000 on Blu-rays while we were
You
gone.
and me both. You and me both.
Happy to be back.
Just this morning, I spent some money on movies. We got a new episode coming up that I had to, expand the wallet for.
We're very glad to have you all here back listening to us. We appreciate it so much. If you guys are liking the show, please leave us a review. Give us a stars rating. I think that's how it works. Give us a thumbs up. Stars? Is it stars?
What are we getting stars on?
I think you can
Is
rate with stars on Apple Podcasts.
Apple?
Yeah.
Give us a bunch of stars. Tell your friends if you like this show, if they might like it too. We're trying to get out there, find the listeners. But we're so grateful that you are here. On our last episode, we mentioned that we'd be coming back and talking about our top releases on physical media of 2024, at least the first half of 2024.
Yeah, we lied.
That's not what we're doing.
Nope.
That seemed like too tall of an order, to be honest. So we'll do that at some point, I think, at least at the end of the year.
I also called Kurt and I said, a lot of my favorite releases we did for the show.
Yeah.
I was going to put Risky Business on that list. I was like, well, this seems dumb. It was literally the last episode. So we'll get there at the end of the year.
We will. So instead, Sam and I have rated our shelves for creature features.
Another in our ongoing series of exploring our shame piles.
Yes, these are movies that Sam and I have purchased and have yet to watch, at least on physical media. And we each picked 3. I'm really looking forward to hearing about yours, Sam.
Yeah, this was fun. It was, there was a moment, Kurt, Kim, and I were having a quick meeting about the podcast, and we were talking about episodes for this coming season. And I stopped talking immediately, and I said to both of them, I'm missing movies. I have piles of movies somewhere that I do not know where they are. And Kurt and Kim were both like, oh, it's probably just in a box you haven't opened yet. I had opened this box and put them into a new TV stand that I bought and closed the door and completely forgot that they existed.
Wow. Hiding in plain sight.
I'm happy to report that I've found my movies. And I'm ready to talk creature features.
I told Sam when that happened, I was like, if I suddenly lost a large portion of my shame pile, my movies, I think I would feel relieved.
And then you would panic.
And then I'd panic.
Man, when I couldn't find them. We were talking about other things and trying to get, more stuff covered, and my brain turned off completely.
Yeah, that really ended the meeting.
Yeah, so Sam had a panic attack, and then Kurt had a fun project that I'm staring at right now.
Oh, yes. I recently, during our break, turned our little under the staircase wine cellar / podcast recording studio for Kim / Blu-ray shame closet. I turned all the stairs underneath it into shelves, like the underside of the stairs for movies. And
that's what I'm looking at on top of your head, Kim.
No, it's actually in front of me.
yeah, it's in frame.
Yeah.
Oh, right here.
From the angle that I'm seeing is that it's on top of your head.
There it is.
And I got all my movies off the floor.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Except now I feel like I have more space to add to this pile. So got to start the podcast up again,
The insanity is still here.
Sam, we've had a crazy month, Kim and I, but we did finally get to see Strange Darling, which I know you saw.
Oh, fun. Yeah. I saw a quick trailer for it early on and then got off of work early on a Saturday and just cruised right over to the theater and checked it out. What did you guys think?
I don't want to say too much about it because I went in incredibly blind.
Yeah, same.
You have to go in blind.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, did you know much from the trailer?
Well, so the teaser started or the first, I don't even know if they had a teaser. It was the first trailer. It started, I loved the first two shots, and I really like that actor, Kyle.
Is the lead?
Yeah, Galnier or something like that. And so I loved the first two shots of the trailer and saw in those that he was in it. So I just closed my eyes and plugged my ears.
Like a grown man does in the theater.
Like a normal grown man does. And so I didn't really know anything, truly.
Nice.
Other than, like, I remembered one shot of the trailer, which you see in the first 4 minutes of the movie. So
yeah, this is a thriller that came out in August. Like I say, I don't want to say too much about it, but it's sort of a serial killer themed thriller told non-linearly, we'll say.
a thriller in 6 parts.
A thriller in 6 parts. Really just a script that never stops unfolding, until the end, and just very smart. Great look, intense.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Keeps you on your toes.
I really had a good time with it.
You liked it, Kimmy?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I went in very blind, as you did. I had only seen the poster, so it was a really fun time. And there's like a turn that happens in the movie that, like, the middle part is really satisfying and very enjoyable. So I highly recommend. It was a fun summer flick that I wish we had all the time.
I'll tell you one of the kind of like grossest, wildest cooking scenes I've ever seen.
Hilarious.
And not even
Wild.
because it's gory, just because of the amount of like food that is cooked and butter is used in front of your face.
It's so
is
funny.
Wild.
It's also really funny. I mean, we
Yeah,
should
it
say
is
that.
funny.
It's
It's
also really
hilarious.
funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's hilarious. Yeah.
It had all the ingredients, literally.
Yeah, very, very literally. And also, did you guys see who shot this movie?
Yeah, Giovanni
Oh, yeah.
Ribisi, baby.
Oh,
So
that's the only
wild,
other
so
thing
random.
I knew going in was that he
Yes.
shot it. And I was very excited for that.
Looks great.
Yeah, it does. It looks great.
Shot
to
on
look at
film.
the movie. I love that too.
Mhm.
Like at the very beginning of the movie, they drop a title card that just says this entire movie is shot on 35 millimeter film.
Anything else, Sam, that you've seen that you want to talk about in our long interim here?
I really had a good time seeing Alien Romulus. I went in with no expectations and had a really good time. It was kind of awesome to go in with no expectations, and it was like a movie that I don't feel like I really need to unpack at all. I had a good time at the movies. I think the third act kind of sucks, but other than that, it's a fun, wild little ride.
I took the opportunity before checking out Romulus to revisit my Blu-ray of Alien 3.
Do you have like a box set?
No. And so after revisiting Alien 3, picked up, I blind bought Alien Resurrection on Blu-ray, which I'd never seen. And Alien 3 I had seen before. This is David Fincher's installment that I think just had kind of a unfinished script and like studio note hellscape of a production. And he's more or less disowned the movie, I think. And it's not very good. It doesn't look very good, honestly. Most of the xenomorph stuff, there is some CGI in it that is just abysmal by today's standards. Resurrection, however, is insane and so fun, I thought. Like, absolutely batshit by the end of it, the plot. And even the way it starts, like Ripley is resurrected and kind of like
she's like a half clone, right?
Yeah, like her performance is very strange. Her character is very strange. I can see why this would have been very unsatisfying, I guess, like without prior knowledge of kind of what to expect. But features really impressive practical aliens, and it is just disgusting.
Cool.
The Resurrection in the best way.
All right. Yeah, I need to see it. I've seen the first 25 minutes or something, but I need to actually watch this.
Yeah, I think I texted you and our buddy Joel afterwards, and I was like, you got to see Resurrection. It has to be seen to be believed, because I don't know what else to say about it, but you got to see it,
And my text back to him was, Halloween ?
Oh, Halloween Resurrection.
It was like, no, Alien, dude.
It's better than Halloween Resurrection.
Wow, big words, Marty.
I just want my alien movies to be gross. I think that's what I've learned, and that's what I love about them. The new one's gross.
There are some gnarly moments of Romulus, and you saw it, right? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
the acid blood stuff they really utilized in this movie, and there were some great scenes with it.
Okay, so as we mentioned, today's episode is all about creature features. Sam and I have pulled movies from our shame piles and are here to tell the tale. Sam, kick us off. What's your first creature feature?
Okay, so I'm going to go in order that I watched them.
Okay.
So I started off with Scream Factory's beautiful Blu-ray edition of 1977's Orca, the Killer Whale.
Wow.
This is the one where the poster looks like Free Willy, but he's got like a Jaws mouth, right?
Yeah, kind of. Well, that's like their cover. This is the like original theatrical poster, which I switched out because I like a lot more.
Yep.
This is a movie that stars Charlotte Rampling.
What?
Oh my
and
God.
Richard Harris.
Oh my God.
And it is a bad Jaws ripoff that kind of rules, is so boring in the middle, and then kind of gets awesome again.
It sounds like a joke movie. Like, you know.
Kim, to that point, let me explain the plot of this movie. Richard Harris plays a kind of Quint-like fisherman in Newfoundland, and he is trying to capture sharks for, not to kill, but to like put in like SeaWorld and aquariums and places like that. So Charlotte Rampling is a teacher, and she gives a speech about killer whales and how they're the actual apex predator of the sea. And so then Richard Harris gets this idea to kidnap a killer whale. Instead of a shark, he accidentally kills a killer whale's mate. So that apparently killer whales only mate with one person, or with one whale.
Now there's a movie.
Whoa.
And so that killer whale whose mate gets killed vows revenge on Richard Harris and spends the rest of the movie like hunting him down. It burns down a power station at one point. It's like an extremely sentient killer whale. It is insane.
I have so many questions.
Wait, does it stay in the water?
Yeah, yes, but it like keeps doing stuff. Like at one point, it literally like creates a gasoline path to a power station.
Hell yeah.
And basically like lights a match and throws it at it. It's crazy, dude.
So it's like smarter Jaws.
Yeah. Yes.
Cuter.
And they do this incredible, like what's it called when you have. They basically put an image on top of, they have this image of whales jumping that they shot at probably SeaWorld.
Mm-hmm.
And then they superimpose that on
like a map.
Images. Yeah. But like, it's like matte. It's like a picture of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are these hilarious whales like jumping kind of in like a heart motion throughout the entire movie. And it's just like superimposed on a picture, basically. It is so funny and cheesy, but it's also like pretty well done at certain times.
Wow.
Is it gory?
There's like a couple limbs bitten off and this and that, but it's like
not as bloody as Jaws.
No.
Well, like, what is
Not at all.
Charlotte Rampling doing? What is she doing in this
Well,
movie?
at one point they like got to go hunt the whale down, and so she just like is on the boat for no real reason. It's just like her, Richard Harris, and a couple other characters. Like,
Okay.
she just is there to and she also like has narration like twice, two or three times in the movie, and it's like comes and goes, and it kind of comes out of nowhere. I mean, it's a mess. It's like, it's ridiculous. It's produced by Dino De Laurentiis, who, you know,
I mean, he's done so much.
yeah, I mean, he's all over the place. But it's the guy who directed Logan's Run, excuse me.
What's up with Logan's Run?
Oh, it's great. You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, I mean, it's wild, but it's a fun time.
I have actually, yeah, I've never seen it either.
Oh my God.
You got Ennio Morricone on the score?
Yeah. Oh my God. The score is pretty great throughout it, but it ends with like they hired a pop singer at the time, an Italian pop singer at the time, to like sing this ending theme, and it is fucking awesome.
Is it about orcas?
It's like, no, but yes, you know.
Damn.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah, I had a really good time watching this. It gets pretty boring in the middle, I gotta say, but for the most part, I'm definitely gonna keep it. I had a good time with it.
Do Charlotte Rampling and Richard Harris seem like they're having fun being in this movie?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, it's just really weird. Both the performances are really weird.
I mean, yeah, it's a strange premise from the get-go. I mean, killer whales are really smart.
Literally at like one point, he's like, I know I have to fight this whale. I have to.
Kim, what would you do if I came home and I was like, a killer
I gotta
whale
fight this whale.
has a personal vendetta against me and I have to fight it?
Oh, I would be so mad because you know how I feel about animals. I'm like, well, that whale's gonna win, and I'll make sure of it.
Dude, this Shout Factory original artwork for this is insane. I'm looking at it right now.
It is so fucking ridiculous.
Wow.
But that shot is in the movie, dude. It's like there are shots of the whale coming out of the water like that. And then again, it's like an image of Richard Harris is like superimposed over the whale's eye. Like it's seeing him and he must destroy him.
Wow. I can't believe it exists.
This might be out of print, Sam.
Damn. I know, I can't remember who, but I know one of the European companies just announced either whether it's a 4K or not, I'm not sure, but like a big box edition of it.
Okay, there you go. How was the Blu-ray?
Looked great, looked really good, sounded good. Yeah, I'm not going to upgrade this by any means, but I'll keep this Blu-ray.
Well, I guess I'm getting Orca in 4K whenever they announce it.
Hell yeah, baby. What did you choose? What's your number one?
I will follow your Orca from 1977 with a 1978 movie directed by Irwin Allen called The Swarm.
Hey!
So Irwin Allen, you know, he's famous for producing movies like The Towering Inferno and The Poseidon Adventure. And, you know, these are disaster movies with huge, famous ensembles. And those two were very successful. They're both great. The Swarm is a movie he directed, and it stars Michael Caine, Catherine Ross, Patty Duke's in this movie, Slim Pickens is in this movie. It's Fred MacMurray's final film.
Wow.
Henry Fonda's in this movie. This is a movie about a swarm of killer African bees.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Attacking Texas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's another movie I confused this one with, but yes, this movie's awesome.
You've seen this?
Mm-hmm. It's been a minute, but definitely. One of the all-time great movie posters, without a doubt.
It's so good. So the thing about The Swarm that rules is that they shot this movie with estimates range, depending where you look, but somewhere between 15 and 22 million bees were used in the making of this film. 800,000 of those bees were de-stingered. They removed their stingers in order to like cover actors with bees. There are shots in this movie of like dead children covered in thousands of bees. Like there's a wide shot of a playground covered in dead kids, and then they cut to like close-ups of them, and there's just bees like crawling in their fucking noses and like all over them, and they're real. There are scenes in this movie where swarms of bees bring down like Huey helicopters. Like there'll be like shots of these like pilots flying like, well, I don't know what that is. What is that big cloud? And then all of a sudden there's millions of bees being like pumped into the cockpit or like the front of a train, and then everybody starts screaming, and then, you know, there's like explosions of these vehicles crashing. That's the good part, okay? The problem with this movie is that the bee attacks probably chalk up to 10 minutes, and
it's long too, right?
Yeah, this is a movie that was in 1978, and its theatrical release was 116 minutes.
Oh my God.
But since its Laserdisc debut, all of the physical media versions of it, at least to my understanding, certainly the one I watched, which is the Warner Archives Blu-ray, is 155 minutes long.
What?
So this movie like is trying so hard to be epic and have all of these characters have their own storylines and feel important.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me.
They're just boring and like sappy and way over the top, most of them, that it's a slog to get through. But you're rewarded for watching, 25 minutes of really bad dialogue by great actors trying to make swarms of bees sound important. You're rewarded with shots of like a family having a picnic and then just getting fucking slaughtered by real bees while their son watches his parents just get stung millions of times.
Hell yeah, brother.
There's also a really great sequence in this film, my favorite part probably, which actually doesn't involve bees. It's Henry Fonda, who plays a scientist trying to develop a serum or an antidote or a vaccine or whatever against the killer venom in these bees. And he thinks he's got it, but they have to test it. And he doesn't want to test it on anybody but himself. So he injects himself with bee poison, which basically like within a matter of seconds kind of slows down and then ultimately slows down your nervous system, and then ultimately, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
So he injects himself with this poison and then tries to see if like the average person will have enough time to inject themselves with the antidote. and he's recording his experience doing this test into a tape recorder. So he's like narrating it as he goes and like watching his vitals on a screen. And you're watching like the poison take hold of him as he's trying to like inject himself in time. It's pretty good.
Are you keeping it?
Fuck yeah. The Swarm rules, dude. You just have to fast forward to the good parts.
God, that's brutal though. Yo, when are we buying a Laserdisc player and then getting the 116 minute?
No, there is no.
There's
the Laserdisc is the 155. Damn. We got to get a film print.
Well, if anybody has a film print of the Swarm, please get at us.
Call us up. This movie has amazing flamethrowers.
Dude, Irwin Allen loves a flamethrower.
Oh, there's so much fire. A lot of breaking glass. Highly recommend this one if you have 2.5 hours to kill on bees.
Did you ever pick up that Irwin Allen like disaster 3-pack from Scream Shout?
I didn't.
Neither did I. And now I feel like I've made a mistake.
When I was researching this one after watching it, The Swarm is considered to be like one of the worst movies ever made by a lot of people.
Fucking losers. What's up with everybody being a fucking loser?
As were like a couple other Irwin Allen movies that I think perhaps are featured in that box set, though I don't remember which ones.
I just got a ticket to see Towering Inferno at the Hollywood Theater.
Sweet.
Which I've seen on Blu-ray, but that movie's going to be awesome in the theater.
Absolutely. And a very similar formula as this. Like I say, I think they were trying to like capture that same vibe, but
yes, without a doubt. And it's, as you said, like Towering Inferno is a better script and it has also an incredible cast.
And it's not directed by Irwin Allen. Neither is Side and Adventure. Yeah.
His best stuff was stuff that he produced.
Exactly. There's really great BTS on this movie too, on the Blu-ray, if anybody's curious and picks it up. It's like a 22-minute documentary that's from 78. Like it must have ran on television like as a special to promote the movie. So a worthy Blu-ray.
Fun. That's cool.
All right, Sam, what do you got next?
I then went into a beautiful 4K from Severin, our friends over at Severin, 1979's The Great Alligator.
Okay.
This is an Italian alligator movie, which is basically also kind of a Jaws ripoff, but it's like an early Jurassic Park. So a kind of prestigious, pretentious hotel owner is opening a tropical resort that a photographer, a model, and an anthropologist fly out to kind of like do a come take pictures here and like help us sell ads to this hotel resort. That is like pretty racist in general. It's like a come live amongst the natives and stay at this hotel. And then guess what? A giant alligator starts terrorizing the hotel.
Hell yeah.
And it is pretty awesome and utterly terrible at the same time. It stars Barbara Bach, who is the Bond girl in The Spy Who Loved Me. Mm-hmm. And the guy who owns the hotel is Mel Ferrar, who's in Eaten Alive, which is a Tobe Hooper movie he does after Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And so he was familiar looking. The crocodile effects are pretty bad. I mean, they're like really bad. It looks like a styrofoam crocodile, like just being like somebody taking it by the tail and just like throwing it through the water. But there's like some cool parts where it like breaks open boats and the boat starts to sink. And you see like, some people get their arms eaten off or their heads bit off. But it pales in comparison to Alligator. I know you've seen that, Kurt, but
yes,
if you're looking for a really great alligator movie, I would go Alligator. But this is pretty fun because halfway through the movie, it doesn't really become about the alligator anymore. It becomes about the natives like killing everybody at the resort.
Oh shit.
So it's like a blend of an Italian alligator movie and a cannibal movie, but it never gets as gnarly as some of the Italian cannibal movies do.
Whoa. Okay. 79.
Yeah. It's again a movie that kind of like loses a little bit of steam in the middle of it, but the final act is like a lot of fun.
Sam, I came out to Portland last year and we watched an alligator movie or a crocodile movie
from Synapse.
Yeah, what was that called?
Well, I almost just said The Great Alligator, but that's definitely not it. Isn't it just called Crocodile?
Killer Crocodile? Severin?
No, dude, it was a Synapse movie. It's just called Crocodile.
What's up with Killer Crocodile?
It's awesome. That's on my that's on my shelf right now.
Oh, shit. So the one we watch is just Crocodile.
Yes. And I believe it's like a Filipino Italian production.
Yeah. Not great.
No. And The Great Alligator is better than that movie, for example. But it took me I fell asleep the first time I tried to watch it.
Okay.
But like when it gets going and like when while the effects are bad, it's like pretty fun. And it's like fun what they could get away with. And it's a 4K that looks really nice. The colors really pop. The film grain is prevalent and looks nice. Like Severin did a good job with it. There's a bunch of special features on it. And it's a Sergio Martino movie, who I believe, does Tarantino use that name in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I don't know if it's exactly his name or not.
But he's like a well-known Italian exploitation director. And if you like this genre of movies, there's worse ones you can get than this. It's fun enough. But there's interviews with him on it. There's interviews with the screenwriter and actresses and actors who are in it. It's a fun time, and Severin did a great job.
Well, speaking of alligators, my second pick is 2019's Crawl.
Dude, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Crawl is about a young woman in Florida who, during a Category 5 hurricane, drives to her father's house to try to kind of make sure he's going to be leaving town. And when she gets there, discovers that he is injured and unconscious in a sort of crawl space basement that is quickly flooding with water and infested with 2 giant alligators. They then have to figure out how to get out of the house alive and out of the hurricane.
She's also a competitive swimmer.
Yes.
That's an important fact in this movie.
They have kind of an estranged relationship, and he was at one time her swimming coach.
And the team name is Gators.
Ooh.
There you go.
Spooky.
This movie rules.
It's fucking awesome.
It's so great.
Kim, you had not seen this, and
I had not seen it.
I had just the time of my life showing it to you. Kim is not a fan of jump scares, and I feel like you spent half the time watching this movie with like your feet like parallel to your body, like just sticking out, braced.
I'm very stressed watching these kinds of movies. I have a pillow pressed to my face that I pull down and like peek over to watch, and then I can like hide behind it. But it's like truly like a workout to watch this kind of creature feature, if you will. Even though I've seen Jurassic Park a million times, this one's jumpier. It's gnarly.
And the best part with an alligator jump is they're always just chomping their teeth together, you know?
Yeah.
And it makes like a clap noise, and it's perfect for a jump scare.
And it was dark. It's dark and swampy.
Well, yeah, and the way that they kind of like, if you've ever seen actual footage of them in nature, the way that they attack things is they just like jet out of the swamp or whatever water that they're in and grab whatever.
Yeah.
This movie has a really nice slow build to it and a really fun kind of revelation of the alligator. And I won't say anything more than that, but by the time it starts, you're kind of invested in the story a little bit, and like it'd be a fun kind of blind watch actually if you had no idea what you were in for. But the deaths, when they start happening, they take a little while, but when people start getting killed, damn, it is bloody as hell.
This movie is a blast. It's fun to watch with people. It's fun to watch with a beer in your hand. Like, it is just a good time.
There's this shot in it where someone gets got on the corner of the frame. It's like a wide shot, a POV of somebody like looking for their friend. And you can like, it's like blink and you miss it. And you just see him get like, he's like in the corner of the frame, and you just see him get pulled out real quickly, silently. There's no sound. That really blew my mind watching it this time.
It's really great. I watched this not too long. I've watched it since we've started the show, just like threw it on one night thinking that I would fall asleep through half of it. And it was just, it's edge of your seat the whole time. It's a blast.
Yeah, it's quick too. It's under 90 minutes.
88 minutes. 1 minute shorter than Killer Crocodile, Sam.
Also much better than Killer Crocodile. Did you have the 4K?
Yeah, I picked up the 4K of this.
I did too.
Looks great. There is a special feature on this disc that is called Alligator Attacks. It's 1.5 minutes, and it's just a montage of all the alligator attacks from the movie. So
What?
when you're done with the movie, if you want to see everyone get bit one more time, you can play this special feature called Alligator Attacks. That is why physical media rules. That's why we're here today. You can't get that on Netflix.
Why did they include that?
Because it's hilarious. They know exactly what the movie is, you know?
Okay, hell yeah. That's incredible.
It does have like a awareness to it. I feel that's like a throwback creature feature.
Yeah, I think the strength of this movie is that it does feel like an 80s creature movie.
Yeah.
And I wish we got more genre fare like this in general. Kurt, I remember I was in LA like a couple weeks after this movie came out, and we were trying to find a showtime.
Oh, yeah.
And there was only one super far away, and so we didn't go. But I remember being like, that fucking alligator movie, and you're like, dude, it's supposed to be pretty good. And I feel bad that I didn't see it in theaters, because I wish we got, if we had one crawl level creature feature a month, I would be so happy.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the same trip, but it just popped into my head, Sam. One of the times you came out within the last, 6 years to LA, I hosted a double feature in our little theater in my old apartment, but
yeah,
we watched Them, which is
Great.
the Ants, 50s Ants movie that's just amazing, and Lake Placid. And I hadn't seen Lake Placid in a long time, not since I was a kid, and neither had you, I don't think. And we were both like stoked to rewatch Lake Placid. I think Scream Factory may have done a Blu-ray just before we did this, and Lake Placid sucks.
Yes, we were watching it, and the first 20 minutes we were all like, oh my god. Joel was there, Emily was there. That was actually the first time that I met Emily.
Oh yeah.
And we were all watching it, and we were like, the first 20 minutes, we're like, yo, Lake Placid's fucking awesome. And then the next hour happens, and it's like, oh man, this is a slog. This is not good.
There was an opening in the market for a good gator movie, and we got Crawl. All right, Sam, what's your number 3?
Okay, so number 3, watched it this morning, 1955's It Came From Beneath the Sea. This is a Ray Harryhausen effects movie. It was produced by Sam Katzman, Kurt, that we had that Atomic box set.
Atomic Creatures.
And directed by Robert Gordon. It's a giant octopus movie. All of my creature features this time were water-based. I did not plan that. Just kind of happened. But yeah, this is a atomic submarine is out cruising the Pacific Ocean, gets held up by something that they can't tell what it is. They finally get free. A little bit of, skin comes with them. So they test it. They find out it's a giant octopus. It keeps attacking random places, and they're having a really hard time finding it. The movie really makes no sense at all. It's like, we can't find this thing. Oh, here it is in Astoria, Oregon, and it's been here for 5 days. And then they just like lose it again. It's a very silly movie that I have to say, while one of my favorite title screens I've seen in a very long time.
Like the title card.
Yeah, just incredible. And it scrolls out of the ocean, so it's kind of like Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that.
It's incredible. Like, truly, when it started, I was like, oh my God, awesome.
Yeah.
And to your point about the swarm, it just is too little octopus for the movie. And this movie is only 79 minutes, and I was like fighting to stay awake in the middle of this movie.
Damn. Is it imprint?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
Beautiful cover, like a really cool drawing
Yeah.
of the octopus attacking the Golden Gate Bridge, which is an incredible scene in the movie. The effects are so cool. It's the Ray Harryhausen claymation stuff. A tentacle comes out of the water and smashes a cop car. It like rips down half the bridge. All that stuff is awesome, but that's like a 40-second scene. It's the 50s, so it's a lot of people in sets and on sets talking like stupid science jargon.
Yeah.
And then people being like, we don't know what happened to it. And it's like, yo, it was on a beach 12 seconds ago. What are you talking about? But there's a great Astoria, Oregon, like beach attack, which, was fun. I was really happy. We got to shout out Astoria for Kindergarten Cop, our first episode ever.
Is that where it takes place?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that was really fun. I wish there was a special feature on this imprint that was just the octopus attacks, because I'd keep it for that.
Dude, they're missing out.
Yeah.
Man, what if halfway through Kindergarten Cop, a giant octopus just attacked Astoria and Arnold had to deal with it?
Dude, can you imagine? Can we recut Kindergarten Cop with the octopus attack from It Came From Beneath the Sea?
That'd be sick.
That'll be year 10 of this podcast when we have nothing else.
So it was fun to watch. It was. It was fun enough to watch, but it's an old 50s movie that clearly didn't have the budget. So you got to make cuts somewhere. And here we are.
Good to know. That's been on my list. It's such an enticing cover, as you mentioned. Those imprint ones can be like $10, or 3 for $20 or whatever.
I was just going to say, I think it's almost always one of those 3 for $20 sales on the list, at least. But what's interesting about this, which I've never seen, is there's a green triangle on the front cover of the Blu-ray with a U in it. And when you go on the back, there's like a key, and it's a universal symbol for this will play in any player.
Oh,
I was like, I've never seen that, and how helpful would that be?
Yeah, interesting. Indicating that it's region free.
Yeah. So I don't know, if you're really that drawn to it and you're looking to fill a spot in one of their 3 for $20 sales, I'm sure there's worse movies you can get, but not my favorite movie I've ever seen. The weakest of the bunch that I watched this time.
Okay, my last pick is a 1984 Australian creature feature.
Oh, hell yeah, dog. Tell me you did it.
Called Razorback.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Razorback fucking rules.
So, as you can tell by Samuel's enthusiasm, I heard about it from him.
Did you get the Scream Factory release?
I got the 4K from Umbrella.
Whoa, dude, I'm so jealous.
Let me start off by saying that a Blu-ray is probably good enough for Razorback, because the 4K is, I'm sure, very true to its, native format experience. But on the softer side, it does not have HDR. I wouldn't have necessarily known this was a 4K, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I also did not kind of A/B it to the Blu-ray disc that's included. I would be curious to do that. This movie opens with a kind of older gentleman who is I think like a game hunter in the outback, or in Australia anyways. And he is putting his young grandson to bed. Cute little boy who he clearly loves deeply. Not long after that, a giant razorback boar attacks the house, injures him, and this boar, which is like practical but looks like it's just on fucking wheels, like it just kind of rolls in a straight line when it moves. This boar charges through this house like a fucking Looney Tunes,
truly,
like Tasmanian devil, and just like explodes through the first wall, explodes through the second wall, explodes into the kids' room, and explodes like out the back wall and off into the night. And dude, it's essentially carrying away this tiny little boy to eat him.
Wow.
I remember seeing that scene and just mesmerized.
Yes, that was it.
Love at first
mesmerized.
Sight. True
without
love.
a doubt. Without a doubt.
But also, like, it should be said that the tone of this movie is deadly serious.
Extremely serious.
And in a tight way. It's like very kind of existential almost, and like surreal. There's a lot of really kind of abstract lighting and like color filters. And so you're not just laughing at it, you're like kind of thrown off by how insane that opening scene is, but you're also like in at that point.
Oh man, so in.
It then quickly turns into a story of a journalist from New York City who is kind of focusing a lot of her work on animal rights, traveling to Australia to do a piece about how this particular area is illegally using wildlife in their like dog food products. There's like a dog food factory that they're like supposedly killing animals that they're not supposed to be and putting them in this dog food. So she shows up to do an expose on this and is eaten by the razorback.
Dude, it's a movie where everyone dies.
Yeah. And her husband, basically the movie is about her husband traveling to Australia to discover what happened to his dead wife.
Does she get eaten in a car?
She does, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, hell yeah.
It's tight, dude. Razorback is tight.
Razorback fucking rules.
It's very funny, like, the Razorback is just, it's always kind of hiding behind a bush or something, so they never have to show the bottom half of it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like every time they shoot it, they try to make it look as like huge as possible, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, and it works.
Yeah.
Like it's often next to like normal boars or pigs or something, and it's like 8 times the size.
Yeah, like Kurt said, it's kind of cheesy, but it also is like serious and in a good way, like more than it should be, but it is great.
Same DP as Mad Max Road Warrior, and it has kind of, you know, it's a similar, you could say, landscape, and it has kind of a similar vibe to Mad Max in some way. There are like characters that are kind of zany and like manically evil in this movie that reminded me a little bit of that.
I feel like I've been seeing kind of more and more Australian exploitation pictures lately, and I'm really enjoying the genre.
Yeah, that's cool. I would like to see more. I mean,
I watched this one recently called The Long Weekend, which is kind of like a nature versus man movie, and that was really cool. I had a really good time watching that.
So there you go. Thank you for turning me on to Razorback, Sam.
Dude, I'm so happy you watched it and enjoyed it.
So let's do a roundup. What were all of our creatures?
All right, I fought an orca,
a
great alligator, and a giant octopus.
Yeah, you were underwater.
Who do you think would win in a fight between your 3 creatures?
I mean, I want to say the giant octopus just due to size alone. But orcas are supposed to be pretty fucking like gnarly, right?
Yeah, that orca could cover that octopus in oil and light a match.
That is true. The alligator dies first is all I know.
Okay. My creatures were a swarm of African bees, a group of alligators, Floridian alligators, and a giant razorback boar from Australia. And you know what? I think the bees would fucking destroy all of us.
Whoa.
God, the bees. Do you remember the scene at the picnic with the kid where he watches his parents get fucking killed from a car?
Are they like on like is it like by like a playground?
I don't know if there's playground equipment, but they're like having a picnic, and then from like a hole in a tree with the force of literally like an air cannon, that's how they're doing it, millions of bees just shoot out, annihilate this kid's parents. He runs back to their car, gets inside, shuts the door, and like has to use the windshield wipers to like watch his parents get murdered because the car's covered in bees. So it's like an actual windshield wiper like brushing away just like hundreds of bees in a pile while this kid is like covered in fake sweat. It's so good.
Like anytime there's like a multitude of things,
you don't like them?
It just freaks me out. Like too many insects or too many.
We should mention that Kino on their cult label just put out like 5 creature features. It's Squirm.
Did you get any of those?
I got Frogs is coming at some point, and I'm going to get the other 4. One of them is Kingdom of the Spiders, which is an early Shatner. That might be the playground scene that I'm thinking of.
Well, no, there's a playground scene in this movie. It's just not that scene.
Okay. But yeah, if you're not into spiders, there's like...
I mean, I like one spider, but I can't handle hundreds and thousands and millions of them. Like in even Indiana Jones, like in Raiders with the snakes.
More of a Charlotte's Web person, maybe.
Yeah, I like Charlotte. She's acceptable.
Man, how about those spiders in The Mist?
Ooh, baby. Oh, that one dude gets like stung in the face and he gets all like puffy.
Yeah, fuck.
Ugh.
It's so good.
Wow, creatures.
We love them. We love them. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if in another season or 2, if we do a Creature Features Volume 2. I got plenty more where that came
Absolutely.
from.
What was you at one point? We're going to make a little section of your physical media.
Creatures Features / Nature's Vengeance.
Nature's Vengeance, yeah. Love it. Okay, before we go, it is time to put wishes into the physical media universe for titles on formats that they do not yet exist on. Sam, before we start, a couple weeks back, Arrow announced a 4K of A Simple Plan.
Yup.
Which was a wish come true for me.
You did it, buddy.
We had a couple other ones over season 1 that have already been announced.
That's true. Nightmare on Elm Street is somewhere out there.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Was Breakdown one of yours?
No, I watched it at one point.
You watched Breakdown.
Yeah.
That's coming out 4K.
I'm excited for that, actually. I'm gonna scoop it. I had such a good time watching it last time.
But are you ready to place one more wish, Sam?
Man, am I ever. I looked this movie up the other night when I couldn't sleep.
To see if it was available or?
Yeah, to just know where I was.
Okay. A man reaching out in the dark.
Just into the physical media ether for anything.
I wish for the 2004 The Punisher starring Tom Jane director's cut.
Oh my God. I wish for 1997's Anaconda in 4K. The Punisher director's cut.
Okay, dude, hear me out. So, the Punisher, the 2004 Punisher with Tom Jane is a favorite amongst my older brother and I. My mom and my stepdad took me to see it in theaters when it came out because I wasn't 18 yet and couldn't get in. This movie is ridiculous and so dumb and so over the top, and I love it. There is a 4K of this movie that apparently is rated pretty well on Blu-ray.com. But there's a director's cut of this movie that actually makes the movie better. And they do this cool thing where there's an artist named Tim Bradstreet who is drawing Punisher covers at the time. They have him animate over storyboards that were the original opening. That was the original opening for the movie that takes place with Tom Jane's Frank Castle in Afghanistan when he was still in the Marines.
Okay.
And then they animate an alternate ending as well. And it's one of the few DVDs that I have still, and I would like it on 4K.
So the regular Blu-rays don't have that?
It doesn't have, it's not the director's cut, so it's just that. And to be honest, I was like, oh, when this is on sale on Black Friday, I will be buying it. But I would really like the director's cut.
You should mention who the villain is in this movie.
Our beloved John Travolta plays a man named Howard Saint. And there's this incredible line where this guy goes, he's like a character actor says to Tom Jane, he goes, "Do you know whose building this is? Howard Saint's. He's gonna fuck your life up." And Tom Jane goes, "He already fucked my life up."
Wow. Travolta looks like he stepped off the set of Swordfish and right onto the set of this movie from what I remember.
Kind of that longer hair that's slicked back. It's awesome though, man. This is like a true fun, over the top R-rated comic book movie back when you didn't need to do, 3 months of homework to be able to like go and enjoy yourself at a comic book movie.
Yeah, it's an early comic book movie for sure. And a good one. I like that movie. You gave it to me on Blu-ray at one point.
Oh yeah. We were doing a screening at your house or something and I was like, we got to watch this.
I picked Anaconda. This movie is about a giant anaconda.
Yeah. Which also is kind of in the news recently because maybe Paul Rudd and Jack Black are doing a sequel to it.
I believe that the plot, from what I read of the Jack Black, Paul Rudd version, is that they are attempting to remake the original Anaconda. Like, that's what the movie's about. But yeah, this movie stars Jennifer Lopez, Owen Wilson, Jon Voight, and Ice Cube.
And Eric Stoltz.
Yes, Eric Stoltz.
Oh, yeah.
And, they're on the Amazon River trying to kill a giant anaconda, and they're being led by, like, the weirdest version of Quint you could ever imagine, played by Jon Voight.
Who's South African, I believe.
It's so bad.
It's terrible.
Bad.
And perfect.
Yeah.
Utterly amazing.
It's just a 90s all-timer and deserves a 4K.
I thought this movie was like so gross when I first saw it. Just was like, oh my God, I love it. But it's so gross.
Who's most likely to put this out?
Scream.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
The tagline is, when you can't breathe, you can't scream.
Very Alien.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go. A creature feature. Here's hoping. 89 minutes.
Perfect runtime.
Creature features. They're the perfect 88 to 89 minute genre.
Other than The Swarm.
If The Swarm is 89 minutes, baby, oh my God. Okay, Sam, we did it. We're back. Season 2 has begun.
Another one in the bag. Look at us go, y'all. Look at us go.
A big thank you to everybody out there for returning to our podcast. We are so appreciative for every ear out there.
Yeah, please give us a like, give us a follow, write us a review if you got the time. All that stuff helps. We love doing the show. I hope y'all like listening.
We're on Instagram at PT Movie Pod, where we put a bunch of content up. We'd love to see you there as well. Let us know if you like the show. A big thank you to Patrick Laban for our incredible music. Thank you to Kimberly for producing. We're so glad you're back, Kimmy. And thank you to you, Sam. We'll be here every week with guests. Bobby will be back soon. Hell yeah.
We have a very fun season ahead.
Watch out for bees. Watch out for aquatic beasts.
All these creatures.
Boars.
But also, don't kill them. Just let them be.
Yeah.
Leave them alone.
Leave them alone.